Local news in the news. Wayne County Superior Court in session Wednesday with the Honorable Judge Burt Guy on the bench. On the docket, another bond hearing for defendant John Yankowski, and once again, bond has been denied for a second time. Judge Burt Guy listening to both the state and the defense before making his ruling, but he, like Judge Lane, sides with the state and denies bond in the case at this time. This time, the defendant was in court with his attorney, Adrian Browning, who called several character witnesses. One of those witnesses received a subpoena to come testify, and that is Sharon Eicher, who testified that she and John Yankowski are best friends. She testified that she was at the chop house the night of the arrest, and that it was the two undercover female agents who were the ones acting inappropriately, and that the undercover agent was the one doing the groping on the defendant, not the other way around. She also testified that it was a group of about 10 people at the table, and that they were drinking, doing shots, and that the undercover agents were taking shots as well. Another witness Wednesday, Susan Yankowski. She's married to John Yankowski's son. She's a bartender at the VFW. She testified that two undercover agents came to the VFW after they left the chop house, and that John was not there with them. She testified that the undercover agents were drinking and socializing with other clients. She also testified that after the night John was arrested, he was released, and that they were able to get his phone. They purchased a new phone and downloaded all the information on the old phone to the new phone, and they were able to see text messages between John and the two undercover agents, and the undercover agents were texting John to come to join them at the VFW. She testified that there was a photo of the two girls and John on the phone, and after his arrest, she said she was able to realize who the two females were. Others testified on John Yankowski's behalf, including Ronald Popple, Jim Poindexter, his stepsister Janet Miller. All testified they're simply shocked by the charges, and they said it's not anything like the character they know of John Yankowski, but once again, bond was denied. After the hearing, WIFO fam was able to talk with John Yankowski's attorney, Adrian Browning.
Adrian Browning, representing John Yankowski. This case has gotten a lot of attention. The judge denied bond. I know you seem frustrated with that.
Yeah, of course, we always respect the court's ruling, but it is not what we wanted. Disagree with it respectfully. He's been a lifelong resident of this community. He's worked here. He's got a family here. No criminal history, and so we put up witness after witness to testify to all of that, and believe that he's a great candidate for bond. But of course, I guess the court disagreed. It is early at this juncture. We have very little evidence. We have very little information. So based on that, I guess the court is in a posture at this point to deny it. We will be asking for a reconsideration after we have a preliminary hearing in this case and hopefully get a little more information.
That was the most interesting thing today. You asked for a preliminary hearing after Judge Lane denied bond, but apparently no one showed up for the preliminary hearing.
Well, it was set for a preliminary hearing, and then we were notified that the officer who I guess would have testified to the probable cause was unavailable. I was a little frustrated just because it's a hearsay court. Generally, any officer can come in with his colleague's police report and set forth the facts to establish probable cause. It's a very low burden at a preliminary hearing, so it would have been ideal to have somebody else come in and testify to that, so we could have gotten a little more information, but it was apparently nobody was available, nobody could do that, so we were not able to have a preliminary hearing prior to addressing bond again.
There's been a lot of discussion about a video. Does the video exist, or do you know if there's a video that
I have no idea. I would love to know the answer to that. The only thing I've done in regards to a video is I've sent a preservation letter to the management at the chop house and asked them if there was any video of that night, please preserve it for us, but I have not heard about any video, neither body cam nor from the chop house. I hope there is video, I will say that.
And through witnesses today, you brought up the fact that these supposedly undercover agents went bar hopping after they left the chop house. They went straight to another drinking establishment. So your thoughts on that?
Well, that is the evidence that I have right now. That's the information that I have. Obviously, it is still early, but I have individuals who have come to me, have purported text messages that indicate that. And then obviously we heard from a witness today who said, yes, they were here at close to midnight. Obviously, as the case progresses, this stuff will be fleshed out, but that's the information that I have right now.
And one thing Judge Guy did ask, he wanted to know when a court date has been set. Apparently there's been no indictment as of yet. They're waiting some kind of lab result. Can you tell us about that?
So generally, if somebody is not indicted within 90 days, they're entitled to a bond. As a matter of law, a lot of times the court wants to know if an indictment is coming, or sometimes if the DA's office is just up front and says, hey, it's going to be quite some time before we are able to take this to grand jury, the court will consider that and not having the person sit in jail for that lengthy period of time. So they do ask that a lot. I guess the state is waiting on some sort of lab result, it sounded like. I don't know specifically what or how much, but with GBI being so backed up right now, we've seen stuff like that take months and months, up to a year. So I hope that's not the case here, but I guess it could be.
Okay, we'll continue to follow this. So I guess your next step is, again, request for another bond hearing. Is that correct?
We will try for the preliminary hearing, hopefully to flesh out a little more information. And then after we have the preliminary hearing, depending on what comes out at that, if there's a material change in circumstances, if we get information that we think will be helpful in terms of bond, we'll certainly be petitioning to have bond reconsidered.
One final question I guess I should ask. You are defending him, so obviously you think that these charges are not correct and you think he's innocent. Is that correct?
I think once all the evidence comes out, not the evidence on Facebook, not the evidence in the media, but once evidence comes out in a courtroom, then I think that everybody will see he'll be exonerated. I believe that. And I think that the truth will come out in the courtroom where it's supposed to.
Okay, appreciate you talking to us.
Yeah, thanks.
Once again, those comments of John Kuski's attorney, Adrian Browning. The state's case is being presented in court by Assistant DA Tiffany Montenegro, who repeated her position that the state asked that bond be denied yesterday. And she told the court that the state has 12 sworn statements of women who claim they were drugged by the defendant. The undercover agent, they state, will testify that she was drugged by John Kuski and had to be taken to the hospital, and the drug opium was found in her system, and that the same drug opium was found in the defendant's truck the night of the arrest. Montenegro told the judge guy that they had just had a bond hearing on July 5th in front of Judge Lane. Judge Lane denied bond, and she asked Judge Burguy to deny bond, and once again he agreed and denied bond in the case. The state says they're awaiting a lab report on a vial found on John Kuski's keychain, but his defense attorney in court, Adrian Browning, told Judge Guy is what they'll find is medicine for his diabetes and high blood pressure. Once again, WIFO film will continue to follow the case as it develops. The next step, again, a preliminary hearing. As soon as we get a date on that, we'll pass that information along. Judge Guy handled several other criminal cases yesterday. We'll come back, take a look at those right after this word from our sponsor, other commercial messages, so please stay tuned. Once again, Wayne County Superior Court in session, Burt Guy on the bench. Again, Judge Guy also denied bond in the case of State of Georgia versus Ladarius Wright, who's charged with possession of cocaine with intent to distribute. His grandmother and a fiancée both testified on his behalf. His attorney, Juanita Holsey, argued that the co-defendant in the case received a $25,000 bond, and they were asking for a similar bond, but Judge Guy ruled with the state and denied bond in that case as well. Cherish Cruz pleaded guilty to aggravated assault. She was sentenced to 10 years probation. The evidence presented, she stabbed her ex-husband in the knee with a knife after she went to his home on Oglethorpe Road with a companion. A fight broke out between the companion and her husband, and the DA's office says the husband didn't want her to spend time in jail. She pleads guilty to the aggravated assault charge, receives a 10-year probated sentence. Angela Prizik pled guilty to shoplifting at Walmart. She received 5 years probation, a $500 fine, managed from the Brunswick Judicial Circuit. Walmart was able to get all the evidence back that was stolen. Strangest case Wednesday, David Dennison pled guilty to criminal trespassing. He was found on 2 residences in Wayne County digging holes in the person's yard. He says he was on a scavenger hunt and didn't harm anyone. 45 years old, recently out of prison after serving 9 years, sentenced to 90 days in jail, and after his jail time will enter a Pineland mental health for mental and substance abuse treatment. Again, that's a look at your criminal court Wednesday in Wayne County Superior Court with the Honorable Judge Burt Guy presiding. Wayne County Board of Education has a call meeting set for today at 6 p.m. at the Tech Center. Only item on the agenda is executive session to discuss personnel, and all that taking place today at 6 p.m. Have a report for tomorrow here on the local news. We've got some final news notes coming up right after this word from our sponsor, the commercial messages, so please stay tuned. Final notes of news, Wayne County School is open up a week from Friday, August 4th. They've got open house on Thursday, August 3rd. A lot of important information for the high school coming up on the Butch and Bob shows. We've got high school principal Brett McDaniels, our special guest this morning. Arthur Williams will host Jump Start for all incoming 6th graders. That's taking place on August 1st from 5:30 to 8 p.m. at the school. And that's 6th grade Jump Start at Arthur Williams Middle School. The time, 5:30 to 8 p.m. Wayne County School System nursing staff reminding parents that there are immunization requirements that must be met before children can attend school in August. Students entering 7th grade next year and all children who are new entrants into the Georgia school system in grades 8 through 12 must have received 1 dose of the Tdap vaccine and 1 dose of the meningitis vaccine to meet immunization requirements. In addition, all Georgia students 16 years of age and older who are entering or transferring into 11th grade will need proof of a meningitis booster. Immunization requirements for children and for all ages can be found on the Wayne County School System's website. The Wayne County Board of Tourism has a special back-to-school event set for Saturday, August 5th from 9 to 2 in downtown Jesup. The event's entitled Touch a Truck, will feature heavy equipment, emergency vehicles, tow trucks, bucket trucks, along with food information booths where kids can see the trucks up close. The event will be centered around West Walnut Street between North Macon and Northeast Broad Streets. These streets will be closed to vehicles. The first hour of the event will be quiet hour for sensory-sensitive children. During this time, no sirens will be used. Visitors are encouraged to shop local businesses in the downtown area for back-to-school supplies. For vendor information or booth information, contact Heather Altman at the Wayne County Board of Tourism office, number 912-427-3233, or email waynetourism@gmail.com. For vehicle participation information, contact Donnie Ray at 912-424-0376. And Touch a Truck set for Saturday, August 5th from 9 to 2 in downtown Jesup. That's going to do it for latest in local news. Sports comes your way in a few minutes. Bob Morgan's have a great day.